How do, paranormal people? Welcome back to the Ghost Encounters of the Third Kind podcast show. How are we, everybody? We've had a couple of weeks off. I do apologise. We were all doing other things. We were very busy, but we're back now, and we've got a full team. How is everybody?
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Just okay.
Just okay.
Just okay.
You've had 2 weeks off. Just
I know,
okay.
Still
2 weeks off. People have been asking us where they are. Where's the podcast?
Have they?
Yeah, actually, for real. That's a true story. That's a true story.
Right,
So thank you, everybody out there who wants to listen to us.
True story.
Yeah, true story, that is. Not like the ones we talk about on here. This is an actual true story. Yeah. Talking of true stories, Marie, what have you got for us?
You're not prepared.
Oh, she
Well,
is, yeah.
The only
She's prepared.
reason I'm prepared is because I've as you know, I've been ill. I've had the old tonsillitis. So as I was recovering, watched a lot of telly, as you do,
Right.
and I watched this program, and I was really, really interested in it. And I don't know if you've heard of it or not before, but it was about something called, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, Thukdam.
Thukdam.
Yes.
No,
So
Go
it's
on.
Tukdam. Thukdam.
Oh.
Is this American?
No, it's to do with the Tibetan monks.
Okay.
Oh.
That's cool.
So it's basically, I do suggest you watch it because it was really interesting. So it's basically when these Tibetan monks who are advanced meditators and they die whilst in meditation.
Oh, yes, I
right,
have
yeah,
heard
yeah,
about
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Don't cross over the
And-
bridge one.
And their bodies show no sign of death at all for days or sometimes even weeks. And it's really, really bizarre. And there was a lot of footage on there. Like one of these monks actually passed away meditating and just remained sitting up in the lotus position. And there was Western doctors and morticians that were there. And they were saying that they just didn't understand how his body could hold its own weight up. His head was still up, nothing was slouched. There's no mottling of the skin. There's no rigor mortis sets in. Their face and their skin is more radiant and looks more fresh than it did when they were actually alive and breathing. The elasticity in their skin, you know, when you pinch your skin, it just like sort of goes back immediately. And this can be up to 10 days after death.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre thing. And they believe they're conscious. They don't believe that the mind and the brain is one of the same. They sort of separate it. So they're in agreement that the heart stops beating. There's no heartbeat. There's no breathing. And the brain is flatlined, but they believe that the conscious is still there, if you know what I mean. And it's not until either they slump or start to bloat or start to smell or whatever, they start to show signs, and that's when they're out of Thukdam then, and that's when they can then go on to be cremated. But I think it's about an hour and a half long, and it shows you all the Western doctors, and they put, probes on their brain, and they take temperature readings and everything, and they do a lot of tests on these monks that are in this Thukdam. It's just bizarre. It was really interesting, and they're at a loss. They don't understand how their bodies don't show any signs of death. And they were interviewing this one monk, and I thought it was really interesting, and he was trying to explain that once you're an advanced meditator and you've sort of reached enlightenment, as they call it, that you know the signs of death. they teach you to recognise the signs of death. And once you know that's coming, a lot of them don't want to go to the hospital. He said, because you go to the hospital and the first thing that they do is CPR. And his exact words were, it's not their fault. That's what they've been trained to do. They want to keep you alive. But doing that CPR can distract the Buddhists from reaching the place that they want to reach. So a lot of them recognise the signs that they're going to die, and then they'll start meditating purposefully because they know that they're going to die and they want to enter Thukdam. So, and he explained it, and he said, so they're taught to recognise signs of imminent death, and when the physical form gives out, the earth element is dissolving. So you'll feel as if you're sinking into a hole or being swallowed by the earth. And a lot of the patients will ask for somebody to hold the hand as if they want to be pulled back up, because that's the feeling they get. And then next, when the water element dissolves into fire, the moisture dries up and the patient gets very thirsty and they ask to drink water. When the fire element dissolves into air, heat diminishes and patients start to feel cold. And when the air dissolves into space, this is when the patient's breath stops. And then all of this dissolves into consciousness. So these are the things that they're taught to recognise as when death's coming. Okay. And it is really, really interesting. So I recommend anybody watch it.
I've seen stuff before where they've actually on a dig and like some kind of cave and stuff like that, and they've dug and they've come across somebody sat in the lotus position.
I've seen where they can literally flatline themselves, can't they, for a certain amount of time.
But this is like 100 years old. This I don't know what it was it a monk or whatever, but still sat in a lotus position. Yeah. And they wanted to remove him, the thing I saw, and all the villagers wouldn't let him because they were convinced he was still alive.
Yeah.
They said he's not dead, he's just in deep meditation.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't allow anybody to move him.
Well, this was the issues they were coming across, because the Dalai Lama had give permission for these Western scientists to do some experimenting and look into this thing that happens. But they said, but the families were very, didn't want them touching, because like they said they could have done with drawing blood and you know, and looking at the blood and this, but they didn't want them touching because they thought if they were touched and messed with while they were in this state, it would break it for them.
That's it, yeah.
But I think one of the monks was in Thukdam for, I think it was 11 days, and then his head dropped. So then other monks come and test them on a daily basis, and they determine whether they're still in this Thukdam or not. Right. And as soon as the head dropped, sort of, you know, started to sag, they said that was it. He was out of Thukdam.
This is in Tibet, is it?
It was actually, they're Tibetan monks. Right. But a lot of it was in India, because in India they have a big community of Tibetan in a part of India. So they were saying the heat that was over there, I mean, it's a hot country, the heat that the body should smell. They should start mottling, and they should start producing gases which bloats and causes odours and stuff, and none of this was going on. And one of the monks, I think he did it for he was in Thukdam for 11 days. And then they had a Western mortician, I think she was American, actually do some embalming and different things on him after he came out of Thukdam. And then she was absolutely amazed, because she said he bled freely, his blood was still flowing, his blood was still a normal colour, it hadn't darkened, and she was amazed at this because he'd actually been clinically dead for 11 days. Okay. And his blood was still flowing, so which is bizarre. She said she'd seen thousands of dead bodies and she'd never seen anything like it. So I think there's something going on, isn't there, somewhere? Whether it is literally a mind over matter type scenario or something, but there's something going on. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think they have to. That's the last stage of becoming their version of a saint, isn't it, as well? I think, and obviously, if it goes wrong after that, you're obviously dead on.
Well, I think what they were actually saying is if they can get into this state, then they can also they also have a choice on what they are how they come back as well. Their next incarnate, they have a choice.
Did you say that they know they're dying, so that's why they go and do it?
Yes.
So they aren't sat there, because there's stories of like the seers, in Hindu, that someone's been meditating for 100 years.
Yeah.
Just sat by a tree meditating.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously 100 years is a long time, isn't it?
Yes.
But
yeah.
I suppose if you can believe that Abraham was how old? Was he about 700?
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't believe the Hindu side of things. But they, so what you were saying with these monks are only meditating in this state when they know they can die.
Yeah, I think it's because they said that they're taught to recognise the signs. So when their physical body starts to give out and they start feeling the first symptoms of what they're taught, then they know it's coming.
Right, okay.
So a lot of the families were saying their first thing to do is, right, okay, let's get a car, let's get them to hospital. And quite often they will say, no hospital, I don't want to go to hospital. And then they just sit down in put themselves in it, and then all of a sudden they stop breathing and that's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. I'll watch this then.
Yes. I think it's called Thukdam, Between Worlds, it's called.
Thukdam.
Yes.
Is that just on regular Netflix?
It was on Freevee.
Oh, Freevee.
Which is a free streaming channel.
Free stream, but you get adverts.
Yeah, you do get adverts. So it was on there. Definitely
like watching
worth a watch.
ITV and Channel 4
at the same
Channel
time.
5 before anybody. Yeah. There are other adverts available. Freevee.
But we know.
It's usually surprising though, because it's usually a load of shit on that, isn't there?
Yeah, normally
You know?
it's a bit like cheaply made stuff, but yeah.
Like your Paramount channel, not your Paramount. What was it called? When they used to have all them soaps on and stuff. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Sony Christmas channel or something. Do you know what I mean?
You think it'd be really
the
good,
Sony
wouldn't you?
Christmas channel.
Yeah. You think a Sony channel will be really shit up, but it's just
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, but it's just shit.
Without the hot.
I don't know.
Because we meditate, don't we? So it's
Yeah.
so and we know just us meditating, the kind of things that it can do or make you see or make you feel or whatever. But these monks, they proper pros at it, aren't they? They don't half know how to meditate.
No, they're not pretending. So what you said is they think their conscience is different than the brain, which is what we.
Well,
Yeah,
they're saying the mind and the brain is different, so they agree that and what was really interesting as well was I thought of Fay at the time. I don't know why I thought of Fay, but I thought of Fay at the time. When you go into sort of a doctor's office over here or a clinic, and they have the medical posters on the wall of like a person and with all the anatomy showing and arrows saying lung, heart, this, that and the other. In the Tibetan clinics on their doctors' walls, they have the same kind of thing, but not only does it show the internal organs, as it shows all the chakra points.
All right, yeah.
Because in their medicine, that chakras and things are very, very important. So yeah, so that was interesting. And what they were saying was the Tibetan medicine and the Western medicine agreed on a lot of things. They agreed that there was no heartbeat, there was no breathing, that the brain function was flatlined, but they didn't believe that the brain and the mind was the same thing.
No.
They believed they're completely separate, and consciousness was still going on. So he said where Western medicine thinks as soon as you stop breathing and your heart stops, that's it, you're dead. They believe that dying was still happening. It wasn't just as clear cut as that's it.
Okay.
There was something still going on when you reached a certain point in meditation. You put yourself in a certain state that it still goes on. And definitely something was going on, because it's not just... It was not just saying that something... It was there for everybody to see. There was no rigor mortis didn't set in. There was no all these signs that all these scientists say happen. There was no decomposing of the body for days and days, and like I say, sometimes weeks, in a hot country with no air conditioning. It's not like the body's been refrigerated and being kept fresh. It was, and there's footage of them on there, so you can see for yourself. And
I'll watch that.
But they were saying, the Tibetans were saying that there's still heat in the heart, although the heart isn't beating. There's still heat in the heart, and that's the only thing that the Westerners disagreed on, because they were putting temperatures and heat. What's that camera Mark's got?
Flare.
Yeah, they were doing them, and there was just no heat on the body whatsoever showing up. But they were saying that if you put your hand over their heart, you could still feel heat, although it wasn't showing on the temperature guns and stuff. So, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to get on that.
It's very good.
And that's it. That's all I've got to say.
No, that's
brilliant. It's brilliant.
I'm tempted to go on a bit of a tangent here, but I won't. Yeah, I'll just see what anybody else has got to say about this subject first. But it's just something we were talking about with consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I just?
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
When we were on about it, I'm going towards aliens now. We were on about it, weren't we, the other night?
Yeah.
And when these abductions, is it just the abduction of the consciousness instead of the actual person?
Yeah, I agree. I believe that.
Do they abduct the consciousness so everything that they think's going on is just to the consciousness, and they're still lying in the bed or still sat in the...
Yeah.
They don't physically go up, just the conscious goes up.
Yeah. Well, as I spoke to you before about, I went to the Awakening at the weekend, and there was two people there, Ronald and...
Donald.
No.
McDonald.
Oh, I'm terrible with names. Ronald and Philip Kinsella, they both got abducted when they were about 4 years old.
I've heard of Philip Kinsella, I'm sure.
Twins, aren't they? Are they twins?
The twins. And he actually brought this up because he was saying when he was abducted, when he was aboard the craft, and they told him that they were going to do an operation on him, he was confused why they wouldn't put him asleep. He wanted to be put asleep because he was obviously petrified of whatever they were doing. And he wasn't asleep, so they put an implant in him. And then obviously put him back. But he believes that they abducted his consciousness. So
how could they put an implant in him though, if it's just the consciousness that's abducted?
But he didn't initially think. Well, I'm saying this, I'm just presuming from what he said. He was talking like he believed that he was on this craft with his body on the craft.
Right.
Until later on in the story when he was saying that it was probably just his consciousness. So, and he asked the question, why didn't they put him asleep? Well, if it was just his consciousness, which would fit, maybe your consciousness doesn't sleep. It's a human thing, isn't it, for a human body? So that's probably why they couldn't put him asleep, because the consciousness was always there.
But how do they do the experimenting and the probing and the inserting of things if it's not a physical body thing that they take?
Well, do they do it, or do
they just feel like they're doing it?
That they've done it?
No, well, he said that they implanted something in him, in an astral body, but when he come back and they put him in his physical body, that the implant was still there.
Okay.
So then we had this conversation the other night, didn't we? Which got me to thinking: is all the pyramids and stuff, are they made in like a fifth, fourth, of whatever dimension, and then put here dimensionally, if that makes sense? I know it sounds absolutely bonkers, because we don't know how they were built, do we? So were they built on a different plane and then manifested into physical reality?
I can't get my head wrapped around that question, Nick. I'm sorry. I can't.
You don't know what he's just asked, do you?
No, yeah, kind of, but I can't get my head wrapped around these different dimensions and stuff. I find it difficult to understand.
Well, I do. I don't pretend I understand it, but I try. Think about it lots.
So what we're saying is that the consciousness never rests.
Well, wouldn't have to go to sleep, will it, if it's pure? I wouldn't have thought so.
Is this the same thing as what some people call your soul or your spirit, do you think? Your consciousness?
I don't know.
Is it the same thing?
Is it the thing that we contact when we're trying to talk to dead things? Dead people? Are we trying to get their consciousness? Because everything else dies, obviously, doesn't it?
Yeah, physical, like body.
Everything physically, like.
Don't know. Could be. It's just so weird. I can't get my head around it. But these are the questions I ask. I don't know the answer. I bet Faye's got the answer.
It's very thought-provoking, isn't it?
No answers whatsoever.
It makes you think. See, now you've made all of us think now. Nobody's saying anything. We're just all thinking.
It was weird to all the stuff we do and all the stuff we talk about. I've never actually thought about it that way before. With an abduction, is it just a consciousness that they abduct and the body stays where it is? I know there's the implant thing,
but then what about one of the most famous cases of Travis? He actually went missing, didn't he? The whole of him went missing for how long? And then he just turned up again somewhere, didn't he? Yeah. So if it was just a conscious thing, he would just be still on the floor for all them days, wouldn't he? And not actually disappear.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I think there might be different abduction styles, because a lot of the people...
Oh, hang on now.
A lot of people who would get taken from the bed do actually float through windows, so it isn't actually the physical body flying through the wall, because that was one of the questions that I think it was Philip Kinsella said, that they took him and he floated through solid objects, walls and windows and stuff like that. And that was one of the last questions he asked, was how could they pull him through physical objects like walls and doors.
How old are these twins? How long ago was it like?
Oh, a long time ago.
Was it? So they're old men now?
Yeah, quite old.
Are they? Do they still look the same?
As each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. The identical twins.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Some shit questions.
No, it isn't.
I was just wondering,
No shit questions, just shit answers.
Yeah, just it.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And we've got another one coming up in August, if anyone's going.
What's that?
The Awakening. It's on the
Skywatch.
Skin Walkers Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh.
The people from Dragon and all these crews.
I don't watch. I haven't. I've only watched.
They're there in August.
Who's Dragon?
You ever seen him? Breathing fire.
Go on, tell me. Who are these people?
He lives it there, what's it, doesn't he?
He don't live at it, he's just a security guard, so I don't know why.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know why he's...
Have you seen the recent Skinwalker Ranch things?
I haven't seen. I watched one. I watched
you
it
know about the Skinwalker Ranch,
a long time ago.
Yeah,
because
everybody's been, haven't they? Robbie Williams has been, Sean Ryder's been, everybody's been to the Skinwalker Ranch. But recently, over the last, I don't know how many years, it was sold, wasn't it? And some guy bought it.
Yeah.
And
Bob Bigelow sold it.
And there's a guy living there, isn't there? Living in the house, living in the ranch.
Okay.
And he looks after everything.
I've said it before, I can't understand.
And he's saying all this stuff that goes on there. But
isn't it owned by some like company, some massive company now?
Yeah, but
yeah,
it was owned by Bob Bigelow, who got funding from, like, I might be just making this up, but the likes of NASA.
Yes,
they put a lot of money into his experiments, what he did there. Then he sold it. I think he sold it for about $4 million, and the man's a billionaire. So that just doesn't make sense to me.
There's another one, isn't there? Not so far away, Blind Frog Ranch. Have you seen that one as well?
Is it? You pulling me leg?
No, I'm not. Honestly,
frog's legs.
Honestly, you can watch it on. I don't know if it's Netflix or Amazon, but Blind Frog Ranch, and that is.
I've got to look that up now.
No, seriously, and that's exactly the same thing. They have really weird things going on, and they've got all sorts of things going on there.
Yeah, is that like the neighbour of 30 East Drive? Just jumps on the bang.
Yeah, just knocks on the wall next door. Yeah. No, Blind Frog Ranch. It's very interesting. Have a look at that one.
I will have a look at that.
That's quite good too.
I just can't understand if you got, because having billions of dollars is virtually unlimited, isn't it? Unlimited funds.
Yeah.
£4 million, sell something. Would you sell a portal? Can't go out and buy portals. No. Would you sell a portal for $4 million if you were worth billions? I wouldn't. I'd keep it.
Yeah.
It's pocket change, isn't it? You're not as though I'll make some money out of this, because he doesn't need the money.
Well, see, I'm reading now.
What you reading? Blind Frog Ranch.
It's supposed to be gold on the place, aren't there?
There's all sorts of
stuff. And it says all strange things happen to stop him finding the gold.
Yeah, there's a place called the Energy Place where they call it the Energy Place, where everything packs in, drones fall from the sky, things stop working. There's all sorts of very strange, and they've found weird rocks up there that they've had tested, and they reckon it's not of this earth, like meteorites or whatever, and some very bizarre stuff that goes on there as well. Yeah, like cattle mutilation and all sorts.
Do you think there's a lot of blind frogs there?
There is. That's why it's called Blind Frog Ranch.
Why are they blind?
Because there's there was a pool there, like a cave pool thing that was very, very deep, and there was loads of frogs that live in it, and they're blind. The frogs are blind
because they live in darkness.
Because they live in darkness. Yeah. So I think that's why it's called Blind Frog Ranch.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
you
didn't believe me, did you, when you said Blind Frog Ranch? Yeah.
I've had to Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you was doing
Blind Frog Ranch.
I watched honest. The water's making the frogs gay.
Gay?
What's his name? Alex Jones. That's what he said, wasn't it?
I don't know.
The drinking water's making all the frogs gay.
Who's that? Who's Alex Jones?
You don't know who Alex Jones is? Oh my gosh.
I know what Alan Jones is.
You mean him that got arrested?
Well, he got fined, didn't he, for saying one of the shootings was set up. I think he got fined like $2 billion or something like that, which he'd never be able to pay.
What shootings?
Well, I don't want to say it on here because we might get deleted if I say. But
he does the podcasts.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still about. He has been fined like $2 billion, something ridiculous like that. What he'd never be able to pay off.
For saying something that was.
He was saying they were set up, and obviously it upset the families of the people who were shot.
Oh, you'll have to tell me about him off air then. I don't know who he is.
Don't say any more. I can't afford $2 billion.
They might let you off with a warning.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Ah.
Very good.
You got anything, Faye?
So Faye's been doing some heavy breathing.
Tell us about your heavy breathing.
Nothing at all. I've got no news, nothing.
That you know why that is? Because you've come off
anything.
social media. That's why.
I know.
You've been doing some breath work though, haven't
No
you?
rabbit
Which-
holes.
Which was interesting.
No rabbit holes.
No rabbit holes. No nothing.
Terrible.
Sorry.
All I've done is watch tally, so you've done more than me.
Yeah, I've started watching a series which was quite good. Being Human. You seen it? There's 5 series of it. It's quite good.
Being Human.
What's that about?
Yeah.
Is it a documentary?
No, it's about a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost. Who live in the same house.
Yeah, I have seen it. It's like quite old that is now. It's getting on a bit.
It popped up on ITV player, and I thought,
Oh,
I'll watch that.
I should see that then. Yeah. I watched Frighteners the other night. That's a classic, isn't
What's
it?
that?
Frighteners with Michael J. Fox in, where he sees them numbers on the foreheads.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen.
No.
No, I haven't.
It's an
neither.
80s film, Frighteners.
It must be if he's in
It's
it.
ace, that is. Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just done the BAFTAs, the Oscars, hasn't he? I didn't realise 30 years he's had Parkinson's for. Terrible, isn't it?
Good.
He did, there's a documentary out on him as well. Is it called Still? I think it's
I
called.
don't know.
And that goes through his life and what happened and how he first got diagnosed and follows him around a bit. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, shame. Because we're missing out on Back to the Future 4, aren't we, without him?
Yeah.
My favouriteest films, I'm all.
Favoritist.
Favoritist.
Bestest.
It was good. I hadn't seen it for years. Frighteners. Yeah, it's good.
I've never heard of it.
No, I didn't
I
know
haven't
about
do
it.
that.
I don't watch any scary stuff because it gives me nightmares.
It isn't scary. It's just. It was done in the 80s. It's not very scary, is it?
No, probably not.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Alien was done in the 70s, and that'll give any new film a run for its money with the effects and stuff.
Exorcist upset a few people as well, didn't it?
In its time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that bad now when you watch that, is it? Or is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
What film?
What worried me about? Go on, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, what film back in the day did you think was absolutely terrifying? And when you watch it again
Right,
now, you think, what a pile of
I'm going
poo.
to tell you now. I ranted and raved because when I was a teenager, I couldn't go sleep because of Freddy Krueger.
I was just going to say Nightmare on Elm
Nightmare
Street.
on Elm Street scared me shitless.
That scene where he's walking
Yeah.
down the thing with his long hands.
Honestly, I was. And then we watched it. I told Lisa about it. She says I've never seen that, and we watched it about 2 years ago. It's the biggest pile of shit you've ever seen in your life. I can't believe it bothered me when I was a teenager. Yeah, honestly.
That was the first time I ever saw Johnny Depp.
That was the first thing he was in. Yeah.
Johnny Depp was in
Yeah,
Nightmare on Elm
yeah.
Street.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Sucked
Yeah.
into his bed, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's the first thing he was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
There
I
you
didn't know that.
School. Every day's a school day.
It is?
He was Nancy's boyfriend, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. It was,
There's loads of them, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't. I just don't watch it.
even the song used to creep me out.
Yeah. Because you know how you say you used to creep you out. They probably still creep me out, so that's why I don't watch it.
Oh, it's terrible now. I mean, it isn't. It's a classic, isn't it? But it's just not the same if you watch it now, you know.
Poltergeist stayed in my mind for
Still good now.
For a long time.
Two, I don't like the watch it, and two.
The priest.
Yeah, the priest, he still freaks me out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one that stuck in me. It didn't frighten me to the point where I didn't want to go sleep, but it was one of them that proper affected me.
Two wasn't as good as one,
No.
but the priest in two was a bit.
An Entity. Can you remember
Entity, yeah, where she got raped.
That was based on a true story.
Yeah, that was based on a
wasn't
true
it?
story, yeah. I just watched Thing the other night, Amateurville, the original Amateurville.
That was another true one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you can, yeah, I suppose it was. The Exorcist was as well.
Damien Omen films, I love them.
They used to creep me out.
Love them.
Years ago, I mean, my views have changed now, as you know, but they used to creep me out because I believed that could happen. I believed that was possible.
What? To be possessed?
The Omen.
Antichrist.
Yeah, for the Antichrist to possess somebody and to be reborn. And I just thought that was possible back then. And that's why they bothered me, I think.
Yeah.
Because not really much happens in it, does it? It's all mental, really. It's okay, there's a lot of people die in them, but yeah, they're
nothing
good.
much happens.
No, not really.
Just people get slaughtered.
It's not like Jaws, is it? Jaws is ace, isn't it?
That's a film that you look at now and you think, oh, seriously, look how rubbery that shark looks.
I'm not kidding you now, right? These 2 films I'll watch over and over, well, 3 including Wizard of Oz. But The Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Jaws I can watch over and over
Anytime.
again.
Wizard of Oz? You don't strike me as a Wizard of Oz.
I've got a copy of Wizard of Oz. Honestly, I love it.
Really?
I absolutely love it. I think it's all the dark side behind it and everything
dark.
as well. You know? Yeah, I love it. It reminds me of Christmas. It used to be on every Christmas day. Yeah.
I like Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, I actually watched that as well the other night. That was on again. Yeah, I don't do much. Just watch telly. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you one that proper. There's 2 that proper screwed with my head. They weren't gruesome or anything like that. Whereas As Above, So Below. Have you watched that one?
No, not seen
In the
that.
Paris catacombs.
No, I haven't seen that.
Them young investigators, you know. No, messes with your head. And
Is that a film or?
Yeah.
I've seen something about
Didn't something
that.
actually
Did he used to have
happen there,
raves?
though?
Did he
For
have
real?
raves under there or something?
No, because it's all privately thingy.
Did somebody go missing down there and they
There's
found
been
him
loads.
dead?
There's been loads.
Yeah, there is.
I haven't
actually.
seen that film though.
You can go down them now on only on guided tours. They've shut a lot of it off
Right.
because it just goes too far.
Okay.
And then Midsummer. Dearie me, that is strange.
I've got that in my watch list,
Ooh.
and Lisa won't watch it with me. She says you can save that for when you're on your own because she's seen clips of it.
Do you know what? I don't know why. Every single time, there's nothing in that film to do with anyone in a bath. Right? Nothing. So I don't know if there's something subconsciously in it, but every time I get in the bath, I think of that film.
Weird.
But there's nothing like that in the film.
In it?
No, nothing.
Weird. It's actually on my watch list. I've got it saved, but I haven't watched it yet.
We went back a second time to watch it again because I said to Larry, I need to see if there's something to do with a bath in that film. There's nothing. It's weird. It's one of those just weird.
I think she watched the trailer.
It's weird.
I can't watch anything with Ruby or Lisa because if they see something, they'll read up on it so they know how it ends and they'll watch the trailers.
Yeah.
As I don't like to know what's happened.
No.
And I'll go for put something on, she'll say, I'm not watching that. You can watch it on your own. And that's one of them. That Midsummer is one of them.
What is it about? Just general.
Well, it looks pagan-like from what I've seen, but I don't know.
It's a group of, I can't say they're not teenagers. They're a bit older than teenagers, I think. They go off on, there's a Midsummer festival, but it's in, I don't know if it's in the Netherlands or something like that. It's all hilly, and I can't remember now.
Oh, and is there sacrifices involved in this? Have I seen it? Is it a really, really weird shit film?
Yeah. It's not shit, but it's weird.
I think I've seen it.
But I don't understand how it just messes with your head. I can't even say it's gruesome. There's only one bit in it that's a bit gruesome. But it's not, it's just, I can't explain. It's just a bit bizarre and it psychologically messes with your head and I don't know why.
Are you thinking of all them blokes in that film?
Oh.
I've seen a film full of
that
blokes.
right?
No, and they all getting, it's like the old get taken one by one for a ritual.
No, I've seen.
Oh, where they're in a wooden cage
Yeah.
on that island.
No.
No.
I've seen a film somewhere where it's a bit like, as I remember it, I don't know about a festival, almost like it's a commune.
Yes. Yeah.
And these, like you say, a bit older than teenagers go into this place, and at first it's dead good,
It's like
but
people
then they
that
start
actually live
realising
there.
there's
Yeah.
something a bit weird going
Yeah.
on.
and they
then
can't
it
get out.
And yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
the one I went about then.
It's been out quite a while, that
Yeah.
has it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have watched that. It's a bit weird.
Just, I can't, like I say, it isn't gruesome. It isn't nothing that would, you know what I mean? But it's proper. Messes with you.
Have you seen the film, I think it's on Netflix, called The Reading?
No.
Have you seen that one? That's about a young girl, I'd say in her early 20s, that goes and does readings for people. And they go to this one particular house to give this woman a reading, who's lost a family, and it all sort of spirals from there. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but
Is it good?
that's
Worth a watch?
yeah. It's one of them that you don't expect, like the twist in the plot.
Mhm.
So that might be worth a watch. Yeah.
Sound interesting.
There's films as well you can't watch twice, isn't there? Like The Sixth Sense.
Oh, I've watched that several
I've
times.
Oh, have you?
I've watched
I
that.
can't
more
see
than
the
once.
point because I know what happens.
You
I
know
know,
what-
I know, but it just spoils the film
But
because
you know what happens in Jaws, but
no,
you'll watch that
no,
again.
but it just, you know what I mean.
It's not like the first.
It's
time.
like a suspense film, isn't it? So, oh God, what's going to happen here? But you already know, don't you?
But I enjoyed it the second time more because I think
You were looking for the thing.
once
Well,
you know,
actually, yeah, you're
once
right.
you know what it is, you notice more things.
You think he's
like-
talking to him and he isn't, is
Yeah.
he?
When you notice.
Like I
Yeah.
never noticed in the first one, but in the second one, I noticed how prevalent the colour red is.
Yeah. They do
There's-
that in a lot of
It's
films.
really
don't
quite strange. So anything that's red is really vivid red.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And you just notice, and I don't really know the meaning for it, but like the handle on his office door is vivid red,
they?
and then you see a
balloon.
little girl with a vivid red jacket on, and then it, like the colour red and everything is a lot brighter than any other colour.
When the red's there, you know something's going to happen,
Right.
wasn't it?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Mm.
Larry said that something about one of the is it the Godfather films or something? There's an orange on the an orange. I don't know if it's a colour orange or an orange on the table or whatever.
Right.
Something.
When something's going to
Something's going
happen.
to kick off. Yeah.
All right. It's that long ago since
Some of
I've
these
seen them.
filmmakers like putting little bits like that in, don't they? Little weird.
Yeah.
Like good old Stanley Kubrick.
There's nothing good about him, weirdo. Yeah. Stanley
We
Kubrick.
love him.
Mm. I think that man had a very sick mind, didn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, he wasn't normal.
Definitely not normal.
I like him.
I think that says more about you, Nick, than anything else.
You're only saying that because he filmed the moon landing,
Yeah, good old moon landing.
didn't he?
Faked it all up.
Hey, did you see that picture the other day of the moon and there's something hanging off it? Did you see that? Did you?
Piece of string.
wire.
Did you
Was
see
it a piece of string?
No, seriously. It was on something the other day and there was looked like a thread hanging from it and somebody, no, I tell you what it was on. It was on the old Facebook,
Is it Button Moon? You want Button Moon?
and it was on a page called the
Clangers.
Moon Landing Hoax page or something. It's called, but there's a picture of the moon, and there's something hanging off it, and somebody says, "Yeah, them are some mountains." Well, if they were mountains, they'd have been like as big as Earth. The mountains would have been, but I'll try and find it now. It's funny, I thought.
No, it's all fake. That old moon landing is. I've just looked at the buggy again.
The buggy's ace.
What they drove around on. You know, where's the engine and stuff? There's no engine.
I don't need one.
I know.
I was watching something about Saturn's rings are getting smaller.
Oh.
They're disappearing and
change
saying what
from
we're
it.
going to do when they go.
Yeah. Not a lot.
What will that affect us?
Well, it'll
Won't affect me.
affect something up there, won't it?
No.
Go some gravity or something, isn't it? Oh, it pulls them in, them rings. And it said some of those rings are 3 miles wide.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't
How
know
many
anything.
there are? Can you imagine that? It's massive.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Unless that's fake as well.
You
What,
don't
you
believe
saying
anything to
Saturn's
do
fake?
with space, though, do you?
No, how can you have space if you believe in flat Earth? Space doesn't exist.
What about inside the dome? Haven't we got a bit of space inside the dome?
Yeah, obviously there's
The firmament could be massive.
wandering stars. Yeah, there's.
Could be a
there's
fair
them.
way away.
Could be
couldn't it?
massive.
It's the only planets that, well, it's the only things in the sky that move, isn't it? All the planets. All the rest of the stars don't move. They don't go anywhere. Same week, year in, year out.
So what is it then, like a projector?
I haven't got a clue.
Are you talking Truman Show? Like,
I don't know what
that?
to
Still
Probably-
haven't seen that, you know.
I'll
I've
probably
never
talk a
watched
load
that.
of crap, but I don't know what I believe. Easy answer. Don't know. Yeah.
I can't find
watched
this now. I can't. It was definitely like a piece of string hanging off the moon, a picture of the moon.
Does it
Honestly.
look like a balloon hanging there in the
Yeah.
sky?
It was funny.
Blamoon.
It was a blamoon, yeah. I don't know.
Oh dear.
Can't find it anyway.
I watched a video the other day of some guy, no idea who he was. I don't know if he was well known or important or anything. I didn't really take much notice of it at the time, but with Nick just saying it's fake then. And there was a video of him sitting at a desk and he was saying something or other. And then the screen was like split into two. And this same guy was on the other half of the screen saying that video that you've just watched is complete and utter fake. Somebody took some footage of him sitting at a desk
Yeah.
and they've run it through some AI, something or other.
Yeah.
And then they've gone back and picked a load of words out that he said and put it into something. So in all intents and purposes, he's sitting at a desk and saying something
Yeah.
that he's never actually said.
Yeah.
And he was saying, and this is what we've got to deal with these days.
Yeah, well, we had that exact same conversation the other night, and I've downloaded the software today, and I've cloned my own voice.
Really?
Have you done it? Have you done it?
It's not. I don't know which one people are using, but I don't think makes me sound a little bit posher.
Ooh.
But what chance have we got if that's the case?
There's
if
nothing's real ever
no,
anymore.
what chance have we got when you can't believe your own eyes of sitting actually seeing somebody saying something and then that person then saying, I never said that. Well, actually you did. I saw you say it. No, I never said that.
Yeah,
What chance have we got?
Well, they do a lot of that with. I see a lot because I watch Joe Rogan, but I see a lot of his stuff. I see loads of clips with him promoting different products, and I just think that isn't
Yeah.
Not
that
yeah.
is not him doing
Yeah.
that. They just
He
cropped
doesn't
all these
promote anyway,
videos.
does he, Joe Rogan?
Not really. He does. Yeah, he does a few little bits and pieces, but everybody who listens to Joe Rogan knows the things he promotes. And there's very few of them, so that must be AI.
There's nothing. You look on YouTube, we were on about it, weren't we? And most videos now are done by AI, unless it's somebody sat there, you're looking at him and talking like.
Is that because they say, don't they, at the bottom of the thing, sometimes it should say something to do with AI, shouldn't it? But your eyes have got to be pretty good to pick
But,
that
to-
up.
To let you know that it's actually not real kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Well, there's a new one come out now, which it's not actually out yet, but they've developed it, and you just put your text prompt in, and it'll make an actual video. And I've seen some of the videos that they've put out, and you can't tell them from real
No?
footage. It's like there's one, and it's like a drone, and it's flying. This couple walking down the street with all these flowers and stuff.
Is that what you got?
No, but they all run on the same stuff. So
You have to
Real
pay
good.
for all of them, do it, you know.
yeah, but the video, he still shut all the people who make videos down. He still shut them down.
It's mad. It's mad.
Because you can just type a few lines in, and I did say, like the likes of YouTube. You know, when we go on to watch a video on how to do something, well, with this new software, you wouldn't even need to go, and you just tell it what you want the video to be, and to actually make a video of whatever. If you say, make me a video on how to play like the guitar, whatever song you want to play, it'll actually make the video
For you.
within a minute or so. Make the video with
So you don't have to
sound
watch you don't
no.
actually have to watch anybody else's content.
No.
It'll just do it for
Just
you.
do
make
it.
it up, yeah.
You can write a book.
Yeah, I know that's been out a while, hasn't it? That has, but it's pretty obvious that I'm no doubt it will get better as the technology gets better. But when that first came out, I think that was pretty obvious when you read things that you knew it had been done by AI because of how it worded things and how it.
Yeah.
At one point, it was quite obvious, but it was on the radio the other day that a lot of teachers are having issues with this now because kids are using it to write essays and stuff.
Well, they will, won't they?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So we're
So-
£7 a month, isn't it? To get all your work done for you.
Mm.
But then that just does that dumb down the kids. It's got
Well,
to
you would
write
think
it.
so, but then if this is the way we're going, do they need that? Do they need to be able to write an essay if this
No.
is the way we're going anyway?
'Cause I'll be honest, my lad, he's so clever, and I moan because all he ever does is sits on his Xbox. Well, he sits on his Xbox, watches while watching YouTube on his phone, and then he's got 3 things running. He's got his computer playing a shoot 'em up game, watching YouTube on his phone, and got his pad with a conversation with somebody, all on his bed, all around like all the. But you can have a conversation with him, and he'll talk to you about stuff that you think, how has he seen that? Because he doesn't go anywhere.
Mm.
So obviously he's even in the content of the game he's playing. I don't know how he learns it, because it's just weird stuff that you think, how do you know that? Man.
So you don't need to do anything anymore. There's no need for us anymore.
Crazy, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
the only thing we do is mess the planet up.
Yeah.
We buy things and mess the planet up. That's all we do. Don't do anything else, do we? Or do we? I suppose we do, don't we? Because we're ace, but everybody else messing.
Everybody
the
else
planet
messes it up.
up. Yeah, no, it's
There's nothing wrong with the planet anyway, is there?
no, not. I don't think so.
I think
Oh.
I think it takes a while to realise certain things, though, doesn't it? Like now, in my 50s, you know, getting into meditation and mindfulness and looking at things in an alternative way, and that I would never have thought of anything like that when I was like 18 or 20.
Yeah.
Thinking about sitting and meditating and stuff like that. I think it's an age thing. It gets to you eventually.
I wish I had come across it in my 20s.
Yeah.
I really do. I think I'd be a different person now. A better person, I think.
Yeah, but can you imagine when you was younger, people were telling you do this and do that, and you're thinking,
I know.
stupid.
Listen,
old
don't get me
person.
wrong, I had some fun, don't you?
Stupid old person.
Yeah, but
You don't know what you're on about.
Yeah.
You know
In the
better.
next life, Nick. In the next life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just a
yeah. I
shame.
wish I'd got into it. If I'd got into it in my late teens, I'd probably be living in a tree now in Peru or something.
Don't know. After watching that program I watched the other day of the Buddhists, I think to myself, I could have fancied going there and doing that. I think
I love it.
for a couple of years, meditating with
I just love it. I just like anything that gets you away from normal day-to-day life. You know, just so you
They
just
were in
can
this-
switch off and not think about it.
There was a couple of minutes in the program where they were all of these monks were in this big sort of chapel, this big worship place. I don't know what they call them over there. And they were
Temple.
temple, yes. And they were all chanting the same chant,
Mhm.
and the sound
Yeah.
of it coming out of this, it was
Yeah,
just
it's
amazing. Just sent airs on the back of your
Wait
neck.
till you go Stonehenge and see the Hare Krishnas. They're fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic, aren't they?
Yeah. It's good.
Never
And
stop all
the
night.
drumming. The drumming's good as well, isn't it? The drumming and the
Wait,
singing.
I have seen that it says that the drumming has to stop at a certain time of
No,
night.
yeah, not on the campsite. At the Stonehenge,
Oh, okay.
it goes on all night long.
Does it?
Till the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Load of blokes in kilts, isn't it? What are they, the Stonehenge drummers or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
They're the same people every year.
And the Hare Krishnas are bouncing up and down all night. Never stop, do they? It's great. It's good.
I want a Hare Krishna friend.
They're brilliant.
Oh, need that in my life.
It's fantastic.
Should
I love
go.
them.
Should go. Honestly, it's just
They're so nice people.
I need
Just-
happiness and
Honestly,
high
no.
vibes.
You know, all the stuff I've done in my life, which a lot of it's been a bit, you know, meeting the Swami from, was it Canada?
yeah.
And he came to somebody's house in the Westlands. There was a doctor. They were both doctors, actually. We were going this Hare Krishna's house in Basford. And we got invited.
I
And
remember
this
you
main
saying, yeah.
bloke came over, old bloke. I've never been in awe of anybody.
Mm.
And it, just how he spoke, softly spoken, and as though,
Put you in a trance.
yeah, as though he really wanted to speak to you. Know what I mean? He was happy for you to come
Yeah.
up and speak to him, and if you asked him any question, he'd answer it, and it was just the feeling you got from it. Just fantastic. They are beautiful people, aren't they? I think they really are. Hare Krishna people really are, because they aren't bothered if. Obviously, they'd probably like you to believe in Krishna, but as long as you believe in a creator, that's good enough for them. They're not drumming anything into you.
Yeah.
They're not asking you to do anything.
No.
You know?
Never ask you for any money.
Nothing.
Do they like that? People
Honestly.
say, "Oh, it's a
Well, they
cult."
don't care. They're
No.
happy as they are.
They're fantastic. Honestly, they're absolutely fantastic. It's the only religion I could be part of, if you know what I mean. It's the only religion I could be part of. There's some aspects I don't quite agree with.
How
But-
long do you think it would take you to genuinely reach that point of constant happiness? Because you couldn't just join them, could you, and then all of a sudden become this ray of sunshine all the
I think
time?
yeah,
because
it's everybody else you spend time with, though. That's the negative bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to be around
Yeah.
that. You've got to be around and in that
Yeah.
sort of.
Because I think what you just said, you could actually wake up tomorrow and decide that you won't be happy and be happy with everything you've got. But it's the other people around you that soon pee you off, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, I do. I think you could do. I could do, but so many people pee me off in the day. I just
But do you not think that people pee them off, but they've learnt to just rise above it and they don't get pissed off and angry, and
that's the thing.
because they are still only human
Yeah.
and they will have that range of emotions, won't they?
I'll be
even
honest
though-
with you. Since I've come across them and started all the meditation, and I was meditating before I met the Hare Krishnas and all that. Here's one point: if somebody cut me up, I'd get out of the car and I'd get the car and I'd drag them out. I don't bat an eyelid anymore. That sort of thing.
But don't you
know?
think that's an age thing as well, though,
No,
Nick?
no.
Don't you
not at
mellow
all,
with
no.
age a bit?
I don't know. I suppose, yeah, but do you know what I mean? You still sort of just let it go, you know. And if you sort of cut somebody up on the road accidentally or whatever, and they're having a right go at you, I think, what's his problem? You know, why are you getting so mental? You know, I don't know. It might be an age thing, but no, I don't think so, because there's some right miserable old out there, isn't there? There is, isn't there?
definitely,
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
definitely.
But they're invite people in who they don't know into their house and feed them And do you know what I mean? Give, you know, they don't want anything back, do they? Nothing. I mean, I don't know. The good people.
You should go. You'd like it.
You would. They're so happy. It's just general. You know.
People like that has to be.
Yeah.
But like you say, as soon as you come away and you spend time around others, then that's when you back to normal, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because everybody's got their own shit going on in their life, haven't they? But you still need something to take you away from that.
You do.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. But it is hard as a Westerner. Like, I go and when I've been to the centres and stuff, the Hare Krishna centres, and you come home, and none of me missus and the kids aren't that way inclined, so you just back straight into.
Yeah.
That's a problem you can have, because Lisa don't believe in anything. Like, I don't believe in God, anything. She just, no. And if I bring any of this, I don't know, I think she's just anti-me, I think. Anything I believe, she doesn't, you know what I mean? Or anything I don't believe in, she does. But
opposites attract.
yeah, so she is, but she's happy for me to go and do what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? She's happy for that, but...
And she doesn't tell you wrong for what you believe in.
No,
you see, that's a massive thing, isn't it?
And in the house we went to, it was, obviously, he was living the life of how he lives, but his whole family were living the same life.
Yeah.
And there was no... There's no crap around his house. It wasn't like my house. My house is full of just crap.
No, it's just basic
Everything
stuff.
It was nice. He had
Got a big tally and everything, like, but there was no
temple. He had a temple, didn't he? In the back of his house was just a big temple.
where they feed Krishna before they have any food, and all these models of Krishna and his wife, and it's just fantastic to see, isn't it? Isn't it? It's good.
How can it not be good though when you live like that and your mindset's like that and you act like that and you are like that? How can it be? Can't be anything other, can it?
No.
If it's making you that happy.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be a crossover, because obviously he's got I'm going to say a proper job. It's an everyday job, so he obviously interacts with other people that aren't. Hare Krishnas.
But I suppose it's easy for him. He'll go home and then he can be
happy.
He can be, he can do that, can't he?
Yeah.
That is the thing, though.
I bet you know it's very similar to like the monks with the meditation. I bet over time they can learn or train themselves not to be affected by,
I suppose,
by others.
But with
probably.
the monks are living with like wise people, aren't they? Though they don't sort of mix with the general public, do they? If you're a monk,
so they're not going to be around that negativity as such, are they?
No. As long as you can wake up in the morning and not think, you can think nothing's going to affect me today, and then just don't let it affect you, I suppose. Don't know. I think you could be. I could be, but.
Again, though, Nick, that takes some doing. He's saying it's easier than doing it. Because I can get up in the morning and say, I'm not going to let anything affect me, and have all the good intentions of it. But then not allowing something to affect you in reality isn't as easy as it seems, is it?
No,
it takes some practice.
Not. I think it's just you got to be mindful of what's going on and just giving yourself
a talking to
when it starts kicking off. That's when it starts kicking off. Just you got to be mindful of, be able to tell yourself that that's their problem, not yours. Just let them get on with it, which can probably cause more problems because it looks like you don't give a toss.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a fine line of not letting things affect you and looking like you don't give a shit, isn't there?
Yeah,
it's a fine line. But
I don't like any money worries and stuff. I just go with the flow now. I don't worry about any of that kind of shit. Just it comes. It does come. Don't know where it comes from, but it does come. Maybe sometimes it's only just enough. But
That's all you need.
But yeah.
That's all you need.
Sound.
Well, that was a bit of a deep ending.
Yeah, it was. The deep end. Definitely. Right. I think that's an hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
It's gone quick, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Good.
I think we should do. Has anyone got anything else they want to add? I'll tell you what, one thing I would like to add, because
Go
we
on.
did a little bit last week, but it wasn't a few weeks ago, about the pyramids, the cladding of the pyramids.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Oh yeah, you were saying weren't they putting something over, covering them up to stop them from degrading anymore or
There's been
something?
a massive uproar in the archaeology fields,
Okay.
and they've got to take it off now.
Yeah, they aren't going to do it, are they? I heard that.
Take all what they've done.
What, they'd already started
They'd already
it?
started, yeah. And it looked like Jack and Viva's house off Coronation Street.
Terrible,
it was absolute
isn't
shit. When they didn't even know.
I mean, I just signed up for a plasterer's job, but they can't have it.
Oh,
I know,
bless.
terrible. Working abroad for 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all up for preservation and stuff, but just literally covering it all
It
up
wasn't
was
preserving,
just...
it was it. It looked absolutely shocking.
Did it?
Yeah, it was so bad. I've never been, but I'd like to go before they.
But you can't get anywhere near them these days, can you?
I don't know.
Keith's been, he's been in them.
I'd like to go.
You have crawl in them. Can't walk, you have crawl in them.
Yeah, I could do that.
I don't know whether I'd panic.
Mm.
I think I might panic. Or if anything happened and told you, right, everybody out, we've got to be out in 5 minutes. You're stuck halfway up at bloody
Yeah, that's
Watson.
your
Yeah,
luck.
yeah.
They've been there
Can't get
10,000
out.
years, and
Yeah.
when you go, they're going to collapse in
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Just why you've just
Oh,
climbed
dear.
through to the Queen's chamber,
Oh,
that
yeah,
tiny
get
little
Yeah, that's
whatever,
terrible.
and then that's
Oh.
it. You're not ever coming out.
Right.
Very
Try.
good.
Try then.
Yeah,
That is
bye.
it then.
Try.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I presume so.
Will do.
Okay, now then.
On that note.
Right. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.